This episode is provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about channel marketing in calendar weeks 47 and 48. Frennis is a B2B market research partner helping enterprises translate market, customer, and competitive insights into actionable strategies that drive growth and success across their channel and partner ecosystems.
Welcome to the deep dive. You know, if you've been watching the channel marketing space at all lately, you can just feel this shift happening.
It's palpable.
It really is. And our insights from the last couple of weeks, they really confirm it. We're seeing partners move from being, I guess, just an extension of the sales team to being repositioned as true co-owners of the pipeline, of adoption, and even renewals.
So it's an explicit move then, not just a messaging tweak, but a real operational change to treat the channel as a core revenue driver.
That's the key, a strategic function.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission for this deep dive is to distill the biggest channel marketing trends we've seen on LinkedIn. We've honed in on the three strongest signals that, frankly, demand executive attention. First, the incredible scale of marketplace integration. Second, how AI is being embedded directly into partner GTM. And third, the non-negotiable need for much tighter revenue mechanics and attribution.
Let's start with that first one, marketplace and platform-led growth. What's so wild here is just the speed. The hyperscaler marketplaces, think AWS and Microsoft, they've stopped being a side experiment.
Not even close.
No. They are now, without a doubt, a primary go-to-market lane. And that has, profound implications for every SaaS founder out there.
And Pradeep Kumar really emphasized why. For SaaS companies, an AWS marketplace strategy is, in his words, a must-have for growth. It solves huge headaches right out of the gate.
Like what specifically?
Well, we're talking about instant customer trust. For one, you get immediate access to thousands of AWS enterprise customers. And maybe the biggest one is a much faster sales cycle.
Because it just goes on the AWS bill.
Exactly. The deal gets consolidated onto an existing, often massive AWS customer bill.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that global scaling advantage, bypassing all that complex billing and tax infrastructure. That's a huge pull.
That's speed and trust. That's the shiny object that gets everyone excited. But the sources also brought a pretty big dose of reality.
Which is that a lot of these listings are just dead on arrival.
Stalled, yes. ISVs are treating the marketplace like an abandoned microsite.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Andrew Morris and Michael Musselman offered a sort of rescue plan, and they stressed the internal reframing that has to happen.
What kind of reframing?
You have to stop seeing it as a broken storefront and start treating it like strategic payment and co-sell infrastructure.
Okay, infrastructure is the key word there. But what does that mean in practice?
It means you have to align the whole internal machine sales, marketing, ops, all around measurable marketplace motions. Trinleby made a great point that just listing your product is the starting line. It's not the finish line. Success comes when you move from being just reactive to being operationalized. And that, crucially, requires integrated revenue operations to manage that pipeline flow and make sure the attribution is clean.
So what you list has to align with what your sellers are actually paid on?
You have to. The marketplace speeds up the deal, but RevOps makes sure the company can actually handle that speed. Trinleby mentioned a customer who got to what he called the predictive stage.
And what does that look like?
It looks like 30% or more of their new revenue flowing directly through the marketplace. That's when it stops being a nice to have and becomes the lifeblood of your GTM.
Wow. And this whole platform-led approach got a massive endorsement at Microsoft Ignite, right?
Huge. Juhi Saha and Roman Kirsanov were all over this. They cited Microsoft's leadership framing marketplace as the scale growth engine for the ecosystem. The metrics, they're just undeniable. Omdia data shows deals on marketplace close 75% faster.
75%.
And land 69% larger.
That is just, it's a different ballgame. But the real channel multiplier, the thing Roman Kirsanov pointed out, was that when an ISV and a channel partner team up on the marketplace, that slice of business grows 3.5 times faster.
3.5x.
Yeah. That tells you the channel is moving its energy and its trust onto the platform's rails.
It does, but that brings up the question of control, right? How do you empower the partners? And this is where Darren Sharp's breakdown of the channel-changing feature, Resale Enabled Offers, or REO, was so interesting.
Now globally available from Microsoft.
Right. And REO completely changes the game. It lets the ISV authorize specific partners who then get control over the price, the terms, and the whole customer lifecycle, all within that secure marketplace environment.
So the hyperscaler platform is basically giving you the guardrails for the traditional channel model, for margin, for influence. It's recreating that old power structure, who controls the customer, who controls the discount, but at the speed of a digital platform. That's a huge deal for partner trust.
Absolutely. And it's the perfect transition to our second theme, AI embedded into partner GTM and management. The conversation is really not about if partners should use AI anymore.
No, it's about how.
It's about how it becomes the core of their commercialization strategy. That's a point Lance Buchholz and Eric Martirano were really stressing.
And what stood out to me is how AI is moving beyond just simple enablement tools. It's becoming about strategic orchestration. Sudarshan Kota emphasized that AI helps partnership leaders move from, gut feel,
intuition-driven decisions,
to intelligence-driven decisions. He's talking about precision partner prioritization, knowing exactly who to invest in, and then automating the precision in matching opportunities.
But here's the risk, right? If you automate all that prioritization and matching, are you losing the human element? Does AI make you over-index on short-term metrics at the expense of those, long-term relationships built on human trust?
That's the tension. Speed versus quality. And Microsoft seems to be trying to manage that with their Frontier Firm concept. Joy Saha and Asher Matthew explained this new Frontier Partner badge.
And what does it recognize?
It recognizes the organizations that are really leading AI transformation. And crucially, it requires partners to become customer zero.
Customer zero. I love that. So you have to use it yourself first.
Exactly. They have to adopt and use AI internally, build real-world AI scenarios before they can credibly sell those outcomes to their own customers. You have to practice what you preach.
That internal readiness is a great lead-in to a point from Rob Fegan, who gave this really critical reality check. He said, AI should not be treated like some IT project.
Okay, so how should you treat it?
You have to prioritize reimagining work. You have to build the guardrails for what stays human and what gets automated before you even touch tools like copilots or agents.
That's such an important point. If you skip that step, you're not automating efficiency. You're automating chaos.
You are. And a practical example in a channel setting would be like automating follow-ups with a partner based on an activity score, but with no human review. You'd end up misaligned or missing really important strategic signals.
Meanwhile, the tooling on the speed side is just advancing like crazy. Ravi Paladugu mentioned GIL, which is an AWS-trained GTM agent that can immediately act on co-sell signals.
And convert marketplace interest.
Instantly. It's a massive compression of the co-sell cycle. You're basically getting rid of SDR wait times.
But GIL can only act on the signals it's given, right? To get to those truly transformative business outcomes, Lance Buchholz argued that generic knowledge is just not going to cut it anymore.
Partners have to specialize.
Deeply. In new, high-value areas like data strategy and readiness, or prompt engineering and model customization, this is the new premium partner. They're moving from just go-to-market to go-to-value expertise.
Okay, let's move to theme 3, modernizing partner GTM. This is really all about the nuts and bolts revenue mechanics and attribution. Rob Moyer stated pretty plainly that modern partner GTM has moved way beyond the classic recruit, enable, retain model.
Yeah, and we have to understand why RER is dead. I mean, RER was designed to organize a program. It was a life cycle tool.
Right.
It was not designed to influence a complex deal in motion or to drive clean attribution across a dozen touch points.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of B2B sales now. Modern GTM needs a new vocabulary.
Okay.
Things like motion fit, deal capability, field integration, and precision in attribution. These aren't steps in a life cycle. They are revenue mechanics that directly impact the forecast, no matter where a partner is in their journey with you.
That really speaks to the mindset change Dylan Connor Fernandez was talking about. He called partnerships an activation sport, not a networking contest.
I like that, activation sport.
Yeah. He stressed that success is about intentional alignment, generating real qualified opportunities, not just, admiring the idea of working together or having a great chat. You've got to operationalize that value prop in 5 seconds.
And the biggest thing stopping that activation, the thing Kyle E. flagged, is the attribution problem.
The black box of partner influence.
Exactly. If you're still relying on last touch models or just ignoring influence deals, you have these massive executive blind spots. That model gives zero credit to the partner who accelerated the deal mid-funnel or got you through security review or drove crucial post-sale adoption.
So strategically, the answer is a multi-touch attribution model that can track all of it: sourced, influenced, co-sold, post-sale, the full journey. But that sounds incredibly hard to actually implement.
It is hard, and that brings us right back to the infrastructure gap. Pablo Hanono and Elena Zapp hit this head on. They said modern strategies fail because they're running on outdated tools.
Sometimes literally Excel spreadsheets.
Yes. Or they just lack the cohesive infrastructure for attribution and visibility. And if you can't get the data out, you can't prove the value. So marketing, sales, product, partnerships, everyone stays in their silos.
So if the infrastructure is manual, the attribution model will always be broken no matter how good it looks on a slide.
Always. I mean, this whole theme, it just boils down to the need for disciplined, measurable programs. Craig Booth highlighted that partner leaders need a model that mathematically works. Otherwise, they're held accountable for results they can't control.
Which is where his structured performance partnering comes in.
Exactly. To solve that partner math equation and finally shed some light on that dark funnel.
Okay, let's shift to our final theme, partner marketing operating model and discipline. This section really drove home that it's consistent execution, not some flash of brilliance that leads to growth.
Yes. David McCullough's core rule for channel marketing was just so clear. Consistency beats creativity every time.
Every single time.
He pointed out that regular, repeatable content drops with pre-planned follow-ups. Those were the top performing campaigns. They had 2.1 times higher conversion rates.
And Becky Thompson built on that, saying that consistency in your messaging is what builds that crucial channel trust and clarity. Partners need to know what to expect and, how to execute it easily.
And Christina Kirstensen took that idea and just operationalized it perfectly. She proposed getting rid of the chaotic ad hoc campaign bursts.
And replacing them with what?
With co-branded, customer-facing content hubs. These hubs become an always-on-demand gen engine. It's way easier for partners to grab good content, and it lets vendors sell guaranteed volumes without constantly reinventing the wheel.
That structural change makes so much sense, especially when you see the data on the investment imbalance.
Oh, this was staggering. Laura Breslaw cited data from the Insight Partners Pipeline Generation Survey. It showed strategic partners delivered 26% of win rates.
The highest of any GTM motion they observed.
The highest. But here's the kicker, the strategic mistake. Partner marketing only gets 14% of marketing dollars.
Wait, say that again. Partners deliver the highest win rate, more than a quarter of all wins, but they get barely a tenth of the marketing budget.
It's a profound disconnect.
So why is that gap so persistent? Especially when GTM leaders are so worried about customer acquisition costs.
I think it goes right back to our last theme. It's the inability to attribute the full value of that partner influence. Until the math can prove that 26% win rate is worth 26% of the budget, the funding will always lag.
Which is why the community is pushing for smarter models, like nearbound.
Tell us about nearbound.
Well, Lucy Hackman advocated for moving past that old inbound versus outbound fight and focusing on nearbound selling. The strategy is to leverage the ecosystems your customers already trust.
So using partner-powered deal accelerators and co-sell content engines.
Exactly, to shorten sales cycles and basically triple your credibility overnight. The idea is, if my trusted partner validates your solution, that deal moves 30 to 40% faster than if you just cold called me.
That makes perfect sense. You're leveraging existing trust to get past all the modern customer skepticism.
Absolutely. And Laura Breslaw tied it all together nicely. She emphasized that successful co-marketing needs clear, joint value props, prioritized segments, and dedicated funding for real plays, like multi-city roadshows. The endorsement just has to reflect to the proven highest win rate in the entire organization.
So to synthesize this whole deep dive, I think channel success heading into 2026 is really defined by disciplined programs. Programs that can leverage the reach and velocity of these platform marketplaces and that use AI-driven, intelligence-based insights.
It demands a huge shift.
It does, a fundamental shift from just managing partner relationships to managing sophisticated, measurable revenue mechanics and really operationalizing trust.
If you enjoyed this episode, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also, check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, AI and B2B marketing, MarTech, go-to-market, and social selling.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on. Given this huge focus on AI driving specialized co-innovation, something leaders like Lance Buchholz emphasized, how should organizations change their traditional partner comp models? How do you reward this high-value service attached, this specialization in prompt engineering, instead of just rewarding simple volume or a traditional co-sell?
That is definitely something to consider as you draft your 2026 plans and redefine what value really means in your partner ecosystem. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We'll see you next time.